Hey there, Andrew here. Hope you're all well. Today, we're going to learn how to use TikTok ads effectively, something I haven't yet spoken about on this channel. So naturally, you're in for a value-packed one today. Last year, 74% of marketers and businesses had no plans to invest into TikTok ads, according to a social media marketing industry report. So you're already 2 steps ahead of your competition watching this tutorial. We'll be going over 5 things today. Why should you use TikTok ads? Examples of winning TikTok ads, account setup, TikTok pixel setup, and creating your ads. As usual, I'll leave timestamps to all 5 sections for your convenience, and any tools or resources I mentioned throughout the video, I'll leave in the description box below, so go ahead and check them out below. So why should we use TikTok ads? I mean, there are so many other ad platforms out there right now, but because TikTok is so new, there's definitely pros and cons, but let's go over why you should use TikTok ads. And I'll be talking to also the downsides of TikTok ads throughout the video. Arguably, one of the biggest reasons though to use TikTok ads is because it's currently a platform that is relevant. In the world of social media marketing, it's really important to stay ahead of the curve and experiment within reason with new tools. TikTok ads is exactly that. It's a new and relevant platform. As of right now, TikTok ads has an extremely engaged user base, but this may change in the future. TikTok was the most downloaded app on the Apple App Store and has 2 billion total downloads across Apple and Google's App Store. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean anything if the users aren't actually engaged, but 9 out of 10 TikTok users access the app on a daily basis and spend on average 52 minutes on the app per day. Be careful though, because the cost per click of TikTok ads is extremely high right now in comparison to, let's say, Facebook ads or Snapchat ads. So the barrier to entry to just experiment with TikTok ads alone isn't exactly low. That being all said, it's worth at the very least experimenting with TikTok ads. You can use TikTok ads to grow your business, get more customers, leads, or even just grow your TikTok profile and get your engagement and following up. In the next few sections, I'll show you a simple strategy you can use to see if TikTok ads works for you and your business. Okay, so before we jump into creating our TikTok ads, if you're enjoying this video tutorial so far, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel if you're looking for more lessons around digital marketing, e-commerce, and general online business. I've got my phone here, and before we jump into those TikTok ad creation, I want to go over winning TikTok ads. You know, TikTok ads that actually work well on my phone here. I'll also leave it on screen so you can follow along and break down why exactly these ads actually work so well. So let's start with the first one. And the first one is a Slurpee ad from 7-Eleven, I believe. So as you can see here, you've got your standard dancing TikTok here with a brand and product integrated into the video. So you can see in the caption, they've called it the Slurpee Shimmy. And the point here is to create a social dance that gets picked up by other TikTok users and becomes tied, to a product. If the dance gets picked up by a whole load of users, well, the product also gets picked up too. The product being a Slurpee in this case. If you have the creativity and the moves, this is a great way to promote a brand or product by creating a dance that goes with it. But I know this isn't for everyone. Personally, not my cup of tea. So let's move on to the next example. So the next example with this one, it's also pretty straightforward. They have literally just shown their apparel products overlaid with a popular song, and they've added a direct call to action button as part of the ad, which I'll show you how to do later in this tutorial. They have a buttload of likes at 200K plus for this specific ad alone, which means they most likely ran an engagement campaign on TikTok. But the point here is you don't always need to have a really fancy, dancing TikTok video to succeed. So this is an example of an ad that works, and it's just a very simple apparel video. The next one is from Nike. This one's pretty interesting. If you watch this, ad alone by itself, you're probably going to wonder how the heck is this working? How does it drive customers to buy anything or do anything? Wouldn't blame you, but what's going on here is also genius. and can drive virality. The goal here is to get as many users to repost this as a duet. As you can see here, they've reposted it, they've got some engaging dancing going on. More people that repost this as a duet, the more eyeballs that see this ad and the more traffic that comes through to your website. So as you can see here with those 3 examples, TikTok is focused on viral, fun, and light-hearted content. So let's jump onto my screen now and get stuck into the TikTok ad creation. So of course, first things first, let's create a business account. So head over to getstarted.tiktok.com. Scroll on down and fill out your details here. You can either sign up via your phone number or sign up with your email. In this case, I'm going to sign up with my email. Click sign up with email, enter your email, password, and then verification code, and then move on to the next step. The next step is to fill out additional details here. And then of course, read the terms and conditions, which I'm sure all of you would do. And then click agree and click submit. So just a few more prompts before we jump into the dashboard. Just add your business details here, including your company website, billing address, tax information, and then you get the option to either get billed automatically or bill manually. So in other words, you can insert in, let's say, a $200 budget into your ad account manually and then top it up from there, or you can get an automatic bill whenever you hit a threshold or there's a recurring billing date. My recommendation is to always go with automatic payment unless you have a specific reason to go with the manual payment option. That way you don't have your ads interrupted if you hit a certain budget cap, for example. So go ahead and fill all this out and then move on to the next step. Once you've filled out those details, you'll be met with this screen here. It will actually throw you right into campaign creation once you've set up your account. However, let's take a step back because there's a couple of things we need to do before you should set up your first campaign. And the first thing to do is head over to the Assets tab at the top and then go down to click Events. What we want to be doing here before we even start to set up a campaign is, of course, implement your new TikTok pixel. Click Manage, then click Create Pixel, and then call your pixel name whatever you like. Obviously, it has to be somewhat pertinent to your business name or your website. So I'm going to call this one Test Pixel. And then I'm going to manually install the pixel code. Now, this is up to you whether you're using a certain platform. For example, if you're using Google Tag Manager or Shopify, then you can install the pixel code by a third-party tool, such as the TikTok Pixel app on Shopify. But if you have any other website or platform, you can simply post this specific code here. I'm going to click next. I'm going to click standard mode because I'm ready to implement it right into my website. So you're going to get this piece of code here, which is essentially a HTML script, which is going to sit in your header tag. So if you don't know how to do this, there are instructions here if you click learn more. But I do recommend if you're working with a website developer, for example, if you don't know how to do this, then definitely consult them. You don't want to run into issues with your site. Just make sure you know what you're doing, but this does go into your header tag, copy the pixel code, and then set it up from there. Then it's going to ask you to set your rules depending on what type of business you run. This is a great way to automatically set up conversion events, or at least TikTok will guide you through how to set up conversion events. And so most of you are going to go for e-commerce events. So let's go with that. And then again, it's going to ask you the event types and names. So this step is going to be very dependent on what type of store you have, how many products you have in your store. So the great thing about using Shopify, for example, is it can automatically integrate certain rules for all your products, and you don't need to even think about it or touch it. However, this step is extremely important. It is one of the more trickier steps for beginners. So if you don't have access to anybody or any experts that can help you implement this, then at the very least, you should play around with this and see if everything is set up and firing correctly. So just click next. So as the next step, what you're going to do here is enter your website URL and then see if everything is firing correctly once you've installed the pixel. So that's really important. Install the pixel, then head over to this stage, and then you can start tagging each product or button to correlate to a certain conversion event. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, just leave a comment down below. So just to reiterate, so I'm completely clear, For the product details page, add to cart page, place an order page, and then completed payment page, you'll need to add click events, destination URL, and either pop-up events for each of these pages, for your product page, add to cart, order page, etc. Once that is all done and you're completely certain that the pixel is set up and the conversion events are also firing correctly, then let's move on to the next step, which is campaign setup. Click website conversions. So website conversions is all about pushing sales, getting leads, getting customers. Website traffic is more sort of awareness, and then obviously app installs is app installs for mobile apps. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who may be experienced with paid ads, there is an expert mode right here, which I won't go into in this tutorial because it's beginners focused, but there are a lot more settings that we can go into if we use the expert mode. But let's go back into smart mode, which in other terms is basically beginner friendly. I'm gonna click continue. With the ad group name, of course, name it to something relevant. You want to get into the groove of getting really neat with your naming conventions. Test, ad group, etc. That way you can just basically follow along when you have hundreds of ad groups, and that way it doesn't get too cluttered. Then you're going to select your TikTok pixel that we've just created. And then it's going to ask you what event do you want to optimize towards. So for instance, we might want to only optimize towards people viewing the actual sales page for a certain reason or a certain strategy. Let's just say, we've got a new product that we want to test, or we actually want to scale up and get more orders. Then we want them to place an order or complete payment. In this case, let's just go with the page view optimization event, because most of you, if you're watching this tutorial, you're probably relatively new to TikTok ads and you want to play around with it first, then I recommend starting at the bottom of the ladder. It's okay to set up, a cheap test campaign with just page views. That way you can better analyze the events conversions that you're actually getting. Now, here's a few tips. So with automatic placement or placement type, I should say, there's either automatic placement, or you can select manually your placements. I always select manual placements as of right now, because all I want is just TikTok placements. That's it. I don't want these other apps, they're not relevant to us at this point in time. So let's tick all of this out, and we just want our ads placed on TikTok. Then scroll down and click audience actions. This is another tip as well. I don't want people downloading the video, so I remove that. Again, for whatever reason, if you want others to download your video, then so be it, then leave that on. But I'm assuming most of you running an ad, you don't want others downloading your video anyway. And definitely leave user comments on. This is going to be beneficial so people are able to engage with your ad and push virality. Then click locations. This is where you're going to set the locations that you want your TikTok ad to appear. So let's just say Australia in this case. I'm just going to leave that in for now. And then with the demographics, we can go a little bit more specific than this. I'm going to go no limit with gender, 18 to 24 in age limit, and then languages, I'm just going to go with English. And then click show more options. And here we get access to TikTok's interest targeting, behavioral targeting, and device targeting. So if you have a specific interest that you want to target, depending on the product that you're selling, then this is where we're going to input it. Now, this is not as comprehensive as, let's say, Facebook ads, where you get access to a plethora of interests. So this is relatively straightforward, but you do want to, so in this case, you do want to be relatively broad because of that. And so if you're selling fashion apparel, then just go with beauty and personal care, or for example, just fashion apparel accessories, and that's it. Then we can also optimize video related actions, whether they watched to the end or liked or commented, shared. Again, when it comes to virality on TikTok, you want to push more shares, comments, instead of likes and just watch to the end, although they are all very important. But depending on your campaign goal and depending on the product that you're selling, you might favor one over the other. I'm going to click commented and shared. And then the category meaning what type of category of videos have they last commented and shared within a specific time frame. And that time frame we can actually select. So that's a pretty nifty feature of TikTok ads. So in this case, let's pretend we're selling fashion apparel. Then we're going to click fashion. And what this means is, and then select a time period to include those actions from. I click 7 days. I don't want to go broader than that, which means a fresher audience. So essentially what we're saying here is I want to target people who have commented and shared videos within fashion niche or fashion related videos within the last 7 days. That means they're relatively fresh and they're a relevant audience. Then the device, again, if you have a specific reason for targeting only people on Wi-Fi or iOS, let's say you're selling, the easiest example is this, you're selling iPhone cases, then you're going to go with iOS. But in this case, we're just going to leave it off. And then your daily budget. So the minimum here is $20 AUD in this specific case. And then you're going to set your scheduling, run continuously or end at a specific date. I'm just going to click runs continuously. Conversion goal, when you're just starting out, it's okay to go with clicks, but I prefer conversions because if you remember up here, we're optimizing already to a softer event, which is just a page view. So we're okay with optimizing towards conversions here. And then your bid, as in how much you're willing to bid to place that ad on TikTok. Again, if you've watched my older videos, you'll know that digital marketing, pay-per-click advertising is based on an auction system. I'm not going to get into detail now about it, but just to keep it simple, if you're just starting out, then feel free to go with the suggested minimum bid by TikTok. Usually this is an okay estimate. Just click adopt here and use their suggestion. Again, if you're more advanced and you know what you're doing, you've tested your product, you've used Facebook ads in the past, Snap ads in the past, then you're okay with adding in a manual bid. That being said, just be wary that TikTok ads is a completely new platform too. So I recommend adding a manual bid later down the track when you do have results on the TikTok ads platform. Now, before we move on, just talking about budget and money and ad spend real quick. If you're using the advanced creator on TikTok ads, there's this thing called testing power, which is essentially their fancy term of saying how many people you're gonna reach. Don't get too caught up in testing power. That's my 2 cents. Go with what will work for you and what's within your budget. Obviously, they're going to try and push you to spend more, so don't get too caught up in testing power. Now, let's move on and click next. Moving on to arguably the most important step, which is your actual ad. Now, again, using your naming convention, add in your ad name. Moving on to ad format, always use a single video. There's no reason to use a single image. You want a video format for TikTok because, for obvious reasons, it's TikTok. Then you're going to upload your actual video that you created. And that is a very important step. It's all about creative on TikTok. And so you want to share something that is shareable, a meme, for example, or user-generated content that demonstrates your product that you're selling, something that's really engaging. So have a good think about this one. Revert back to earlier in this video where we talked about the ads that actually work, dance challenges, hashtag challenges, all that good stuff. So spend a good amount of time creating your media before you actually upload it. When it's actually ready to go, click upload. Then you have your display name, which is down here. As you can see, let me zoom in here. This is what your display name will be. So, it'll be your business name, let's just say. So as you can see, if I scroll back, you can see here, it'll be your display name there. And then your text will go underneath that. So in this case, let's just type in example, hook, text, add copy. And you can see here that it inserts down here. It's essentially like your description if you were to manually upload this onto TikTok. TikTok does give you the option to make it easy and automatically generate text based on your website, based on your niche and vertical and product that you're selling. However, I always recommend that you manually create your text ad copy yourself. Don't rely on the smart text feed. I know we're beginners here, but highly recommend you take your time to, insert in your own text. That way, it's not going to be generic, there is more people that are going to read your text, and then as a result, click through and purchase from your store. Then your call to action, this is extremely important. This is your call to action button below here, which is part of the advertisement. You're going to choose whatever is relevant to you. You'll get a few options here: download, shop now, contact us. Probably most relevant to you all will be shop now. So let's go with that. Then you enter in your URL, website where people will click, and then it'll lead to that URL. And then of course your profile image. We get a custom profile image in this case. So upload a photo of your brand logo or brand identity there. Then click I agree. You're the legally authorized representative of your company, blah, 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 blah. Then tracking. So with ad tracking, I'm not going to go into this in detail. This is more advanced, but for whatever reason, for example, you can add UTM tags if you know what you're doing, but otherwise as a beginner, just ignore this. This isn't necessary. Then click submit. So once you've clicked submit, give TikTok the time to analyze your ad and approve your ad. Once your ad is approved and it's live, you'll start to see all the data come through this dashboard here, and hopefully results and purchases on your website. So make sure that you track all your dashboard data daily, all right? And then go into reporting, set up some reports, analyze all your data. And then from there, essentially what you wanna do is continually improve your ads, create more audiences, okay? Refine your audiences, your targeting, and then you should be golden from there. Now, here's a few more bonus points and notes for you to keep in mind when using TikTok ads. The average cost per click of a TikTok ad is still about $10. That's crazy expensive. I've been able to push it significantly lower than that, but it does depend on things like what are you selling, your niche, how versatile and experienced you are with digital marketing, etc., etc. So like I said earlier in this video, the barrier to entry to just experimenting with TikTok ads alone isn't exactly low, which makes it tricky for, let's say, small e-commerce brands to thrive. We're experimenting with an advertising channel that is still super new and yet to prove itself. So the best way to test is with smaller budgets that you're able to afford to invest with and put into TikTok ads. If you're looking for new platforms outside of your standard digital marketing platforms, then I'd still recommend Snapchat ads. It has most of the perks of TikTok ads, but with a more stable user base, it's more advertiser friendly and has a far more inexpensive cost per swipe up. I just recently created an in-depth Snap ads mini course, which I'll leave a link to down below, and also a link to free Snap ad credit. So you're able to get kickstarted and try Snap ads for yourself and see how it stacks up and compares to TikTok ads for yourself. And the other thing is, the first few seconds of a TikTok ad is by far the most important. So you wanna, create an ad video that is super eye-catching in the first 2 seconds and is replayable. The content replayability is what will boost up ad quality and virality on TikTok. So creating great ad creative is more than half the game with TikTok ads. Also, be sure to create unique content to TikTok. It's not a one-size-fits-all type platform, and so don't go, copy and pasting your ads on Facebook onto TikTok. 9 times out of 10, this won't work. Get into that TikTok culture, the hashtag and challenges. If you create unique content for TikTok and TikTok ads only, you'll see far better results than copying and pasting. And finally, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, give this video a like and subscribe for more weekly videos and lessons like all my in-depth tutorials I create for you guys. This took some time to make, so your support in the form of a few clicks is always so much appreciated. I'll also leave on screen here some more useful videos to help you on your own journey and building your business. And don't forget, all the links and tools I mentioned throughout this video tutorial are in the description box below. Comment below and I'll try and get through as many comments as I can as always, and thanks for watching.